Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Fast Fridays presented by Maconi Setup Shop. We've revamped the format for this series, and tonight we have the Legends cars at Lanier Speedway as one of our qualifying races for the upcoming monthly money race. For those of you who haven't joined us before, Maconi Fast Fridays is a weekly series by Maconi Setup Shop featuring a varying car and track combination each and every week. With the revamped format we are seeing now, drivers enter in order to race in 3 qualifying races, with the top 20 in points automatically locking into the money race. My name is William White, and joining me in the booth is Chris Wright, with David Critz working the controls in the production booth, and Shane Mundy providing updates on our social media channels. Chris, the Legends cars are usually the first car a driver jumps into when they start their iRacing careers, with Lanier being a free track, of course. It's one of the staple tracks of the rookie ladder on the oval side of things. These drivers almost certainly have plenty of experience at this track, so with that in mind, what can we expect to see here tonight as the drivers prepare to hit the asphalt?
Well, William, based on what we just saw there in that practice, I think we can expect to see some big wrecks early. And like we were discussing there off air, I think we're going to see some big wrecks early, and then we're going to get to see a string of great racing to end this thing.
It definitely does look like it could be quite a chaotic affair. We saw in the hour-long practice preceding this race, we saw a lot of drivers really struggling to acclimate to these conditions. While, of course, these are rookie cars on a rookie track, it's by no means easy. Lanier certainly has its challenges, being less than half a mile in length, lap times south of 15 seconds if you can really get the car hooked up properly, means that this track really can be quite challenging with both its asphalt and dirt layouts, with 5 degrees of banking on the straights, 11 degrees in the corners, makes for quite a challenging combination. And not just Legends, but late models, modifieds, and even sometimes some bigger cars that dare to trek onto this track. But now we're just about halfway through qualifying, Chris, and having a look at the fast times at the minute. It's TJ Moon in the number 21, a 14.687 on the board for the driver of the number 21. You see Jeff Thins there in P6. And the boss man, Jeff Maconi, let's see what he can do in his couple of laps to try and qualify into the field.
Now, William, I think based on what I would typically want to do here if I was in a stock car or a little bit of a heavier car, I have not driven a Legend car, and I've been on the sim about 10 years, and that's probably how long it's been since I drove one of these cars. But what I see out here, what I would want to do is maybe straddle the bottom. But I'm not really seeing anybody do that, so that tells me that might not work. Do you know anything about these Legend cars?
I do not drive them very often at all. I joined the sim in late 2020, and I went straight to street stocks and then up the ladder that way. So I have done little to no running in a Legends car ever. Definitely not on any competitive level. So I am probably the last person to ask about Legends cars. Other than that, I know that they can really grip and rip for a few laps with that. The super fat tires and a very light sheet metal composite body can really make for some interesting close packed up racing, especially like we say on a super close, 0.3 mile track like we have here at Lanier. But now just over a minute, I'm not seeing many cars out on the track. Grayson Underwood is currently sat in the pit lane, but that is the only car actually active in the sim. Your current top 5 fastest times, TJ Moon of 14.6, the only driver to get into the 14.6 bracket. Finn Buckley, Brandon Meese, Jared Davis, Terry Henry make up the top 5. And with 24 cars currently with a lap time set, you'd imagine with a few more tailing the grid, making up, I would predict, anywhere from 25 to 30 cars in the pack, Chris. I expect, probably, as you mentioned earlier, quite a few cautions to start this thing off.
Yeah, and we've got Jonathan Weaver out here trying to make a last-second run here in his 26 machine. It's going into 3. It looks pretty solid. It might be slow. I'm not the guy to judge that, but it looked pretty solid. And it was slow. So it looked really good because it was so slow, I guess.
Looking smooth. He's got a lap time on the board at the matters. We'll see if he can improve on this second lap here. Not sure whether this is a first lap or a second lap. Hot lap definitely looks more aggressive. He's hit the wall. Oh, Jonathan Weaver, big impact into the outside and the inside wall there for the 26 car. So he's going to Unfortunately, qualifying 19th as qualifying has just ended. Checker flag flies for qualifying here for the Legends race at Lanier. For those of you, for the uninitiated, this is a century elapse ahead of our drivers. So if it goes green all the way, we could be done in about 15-20 minutes. But likelihood of that very, very low, especially in these beginning portions you see as the grid begins to line up. Even in these
William,
tiny,
if this
tiny
thing runs
cars,
caution free, I will
yeah,
fly over and visit you this week.
you'll fly over and visit me.
This week.
Wow, that's a big bet. This week, okay, I'll take that action. I'm not sure what we do. There's not a lot to do in England, but alas, the starting grid now on your screen for Fast Fridays at Lanier. It's TJ Moon with a very, very quick lap. Taking pole position, it'll be Finn Buckley in the 16. On his outside in P2, Brandon Meese in the 29. We'll have Fast Fridays regular Jared Davis for company in the number 17. On the high side, row 2, rounding out the top 5, the 117 of Terry Henry. Aidan Wigfield in the 420 machine starts in 6th with Grayson Underwood in the 801. Jeff Maconi, the boss man, in the 03. Jeff Thins and Jonathan Sellers round out the top 10. Joshua Fireball Coolbrith in the 22 starts in P11 with Parker Lindemann in the 7, starting in position number 12. With Tegan Roseberry in the 61 starting 13th. Braden Ludica will start 14th. Tyler Helm in the 43 starts in 15th. Brian Huntley will qualify 16th. Zach Ball in the 92. We'll have Mason Gubick on the outside of row 9. Jonathan Weaver, and Logan Blau will make up row number 10. Eric Goodale will start 21st with Carl Sargerson in 22nd. Henry Kauser, Kenneth Etter and Mike Stockton round out all the drivers that set a lap and round out our 25 car grid for Fast Fridays at Lanier. And even with 25 cars being a fairly average grid size, Chris, you see just in that wide shot, they're still extending all the way back through the middle of turns 3 and 4. This track is absolutely tiny, and it's definitely going to make for, I would say, a chaotic affair.
Yeah, I think turn 1, lap 1 is going to be pretty crazy out here. 25 cars, 25 of these legend cars, which, based on practice and what we've seen in qualifying, the commitment level is going to have to be there. And I think, patience is going to run thin the further back you get. And that guy in row 5 or 6, he's going to commit to turn 1, and a couple of them guys in front of him are going to lift early. And I think we're going to see some crazy stuff here at the very start of this race.
We certainly might. We'll have a couple of formation laps to get the field initiated, get their cars warmed up. We know that chaos will likely ensue. We know that these cars, especially we saw in practice quite a few times, these cars, you hit them right, they are prone to going upside down if you hit those big fat tyres in just the right way. You can send a car flipping, flying. I think you predicted during practice off air that someone might clear the fence before the night is done. So we could definitely see some bruised egos and bruised race cars out on the track tonight, as cars are now exiting the racetrack. Green flag is in the air. TJ Moon off to a decent start. You see the field fan out into turn 1. It's a decent launch for Moon. Buckley in hot pursuit there. Moon will just about clear off of turn 2. Buckley looks at a big one behind there. Jeff Maconi's on his side. Big one on the back straight away. Caution immediately out. And that is a massive accident. Jonathan Weaver as well, almost upside down. About a dozen cars involved there. A big pile up on the first lap. You see Jeff Maconi there, all torn up. Right front suspension torn to bits. Bonnet completely severed from that vehicle. And we'll see the replay here, Chris, as the pace car does exit the racing surface, giving control of the field to TJ Moon as the green flag drops. It seems like these guys really aren't prepared or weren't patient enough for 100 laps, so they'll dive into turn 1 and turn 2. There's a bit of a stack up there, already 3 abreast, and then, one driver gets tagged. You see Maconi on his side. That's already involved 4 cars. You see the 61 Tegan Rosenberry just about gets tagged. The 19's involved. The 8 of Gubick gets involved. Tegan Roseberry almost on her side, just about keeps it on all 4s. But that is going to take out quite a few cars from the running early daughter, you would imagine, Chris.
Yeah, when they made it through turn 1 and looked to give everybody room, I thought, oh man, we might be able to run a while. And then they came off of turn 2, and totally different story. No suspense at all for that trip that I would have to make from here in the Midwest of the United States to London or to England.
Yeah, it definitely saves you probably a few $100s there in plane rides and hotels accommodation. So Chris Wright staying in his homeland for the time being. So we only went caution free for a few hundred feet, I think. Unfortunately, not the full century of laps that these drivers have ahead of us. TJ Moon, though, still leads the race. Finn Buckley make up an unchanged front row behind the safety car here. Lap 5 of 100. Even under caution, the laps really do tick off quickly here at Lanier as the pace car now does pull off again. The green flag does come out, and it's a decent start for our front row runners. Finn Buckley there actually with a very decent launch. He leads across the line there. TJ Moon, though, takes back, and there's already a caution further back in the pack. There's been problems with one of the back marker cars. Didn't quite catch it live on there. Certainly didn't catch it on our end in the sim. I'll have to try and catch a replay of that restart. Already working our second caution of the evening.
I thought when that car blended out of pit road, when the pack was coming by, that might be the caution, but then the caution immediately came out. I did not catch what it was either. Maybe somebody was stopped out here. It's hard telling.
This is a replay. See, everyone's stacked up. Someone's flying around the outside there. Can't quite discern who that is. They've made up about 7 spots off the restart, and oh, there's one spinning at the back. I think that's what it was. Someone just facing the wrong direction, and oh, almost came up until I believe that was the 117. But already we're back green.
Green
immediately. I've heard that in my ear. In race. Oh, there's 43s already around. We could be working another caution here. Already wrecking again. The 43 of Tyler Helm.
Oh, the 12's flying through the air down here.
Kyle Sargison as well. Someone's upside down.
Yeah, the 12 was flying through the air there on the backstretch.
Oh my word. Oh, big mess. Whoa! That is someone gets sent flying there. Down the back straight, the 420 of Aiden Wickfield was involved there. So number 12, I believe that's a custom number. I don't see a 12 scored here. I have to try and catch who that is, but this is getting messy, both on the track and in the voice channels. A lot of
that green came pretty quick. They were not lined up there, and everybody was trying to get caught up, and that was wild.
Yeah, this is definitely a messy affair. But everyone's starting to get lined up again now near the front of the pack. They're all behind the safety car. TJ Moon does still lead the way with 8 of Logan Blau there. Leading the line, I believe he is waving himself around, being currently scored 2 laps down. Definitely been a messy start, that 12 of 100, so we'll probably restart in about 86 to go, but these guys want to get any sort of considerable, meaningful running going. They're going to have to really shape up as the boss man, Jeff Maconi, takes it to 1 to green, which means that the pace car will be pulling in this time by. You see your front row, now slightly modified from when we started. TJ Moon and Jared Davis now make up the front row, with Finn Buckley being demoted down to P3. TJ Moon there with a very decent restart. You already see 4 abreast there. Further behind there, Kyle Sargison, that is, way on the low side, trying to make it work, and he has made it work there. The 44 up a few spots going into turn 3 there. He's still side by side with Aiden Wickfield through 3 and 4, but now, finally, our first green flag lap of the evening. Fingers crossed it can stay like this for a while longer. TJ Moon out to a considerable lead.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy. Oh, we're wrecking on the back.
Oh, no! The 117, the 10 in it. Terry Henry. Was that the number 10? Henry Kauser as well. Big one. Already see cars up in the air. Let's see what happened there. This is the 117 in P17. Oh, the 8! The 8, that's Logan Blau there. Got stacked up. Terry Henry nowhere to go, and Henry Kauser completely innocently involved there. And both of those drivers get sent into the outside wall, but not too much damage. These guys do have a fast repair at their dispensation should they need to use it, which I think most of the field probably have already used.
Yeah, we got guys running into each other under caution here.
Oh,
we got some fireworks going on out here. I think we're going to green already. Once again,
I'm about to say, we are going green. We certainly are. Jeff Maconi likes the quickie cautions. We certainly do, because it means we get some more action. TJ Moon again leads into turn 1. Finn Buckley on his outside trying to make it work. Jared Davis there in P3. Josh Fireball Coolbreath there in P4 in the number 22 machine. Braden Ludico and Parker Lindemann following behind side by side for Peter. That's Buckley on the outside. Dave on the inside of the course round. The 23 is around there. Further towards the back there. Braden Ludico is one upside down there at the top of your screen. That's Kenneth Eto in the 25. And again, for the 5th time tonight, we're just a 5th of the way through. The yellow flag is waving again at Lanier. This has been a very messy start to proceedings. And we've already seen a couple cars upside down. We'll have to see another replay of the restart. See the 19 and the 4.
I'm going to tell you, William, I think there was 2 wrecks there in 3 and 4. There was a wreck at the back and up towards the front.
I think so too, as I think I saw the 23. I don't know if that was a custom number, but I certainly saw a 23 car facing rear end towards the outside retaining wall. See Brian Hutley Jr. there in the number 19. He's on the outside of Aidan Wigfield there. See, I think that's Carl Sargerson facing around the wrong way. There was 2 separate accidents. You're absolutely right. Carl Sargerson had a self spin on his own accord going into 3 and then coming out of 4. They all had an accident by themselves, but by the fact that we are... Yeah, the lights are off on the pace car. 1 lap to green, I believe. We'll be coming to the green again. The pace car will pull into the pit lane now. TJ Moon again has control of the field on the restart, and again with a decent launch. Jared Davis on his outside. Finn Buckley trying to capitalise on the inside line there. Does a pretty good job at it. Jared Davis will continue to fight on the outside. You see that Parker Lindemann gets past Josh Fireball Coolbreath with an incisive move up into P4. We remain green for this first lap. Coolbreath down to 5th, as I believe that is the number 420 of Aidan Wigfield there in P number 7 with Mason Gubic there in the 6th. Sorry, not the 8 car in the 6th car in the 6th position. You see Jared Davis down the outside, Finn Buckley. But now a couple of laps on the green, Chris. We'll see what TJ Moon can do, whether he has the pace to actually keep it up front.
Yeah, and right now our front, 5, 6 guys here are right on top of each other. I was just sitting here watching and looking at the lineups here, and it looked like qualifying might be the most important lap so far. However, Parker is up here from 12th, and Joshua is up here from 11th. You got Mason up here from 18th. So these guys have survived the chaos that was going on all around them, and now they're sitting up here in the top 6 or 8 with a shot to be able to have something, go their way with the last 3/4 of this race.
Definitely, and I think now these guys are going to focus on trying to be as smooth as they can. While the tyres don't necessarily wear as such on a Legends car, they certainly do, but not to the extent that maybe an A, B, C or D class stock car might do. They can certainly get very hot, and that can reduce grip at quite a staggering rate. So I think smoothness is the name of the game now, especially for the likes of TJ Moon, Finn Buckley, who now find themselves single file and need to focus on longevity now for the rest of these 70 laps. Should we remain green? Joshua Fireball Coolbreath there with the coolest middle name ever is currently on the inside of Jared Davis there, trying to take P4 and does so with aplomb there. Jared Davis just about hanging on the outside, but I don't think he'll be able to keep that fight going much longer. There's Mason Gubic there, back there in 6th, trying to join in the fun. But now, Chris, we are all officially throughout the front positions, single file. I think this is where we're going to start to get, hopefully, fingers crossed, a bit more of a long green line.
Yeah, we're seeing our top 6 guys or so right here really guarding the field. But back here, that 420, the 92, 23, they just got all kinds of jumbled up here off of turns. They're back here playing bumper card. I don't think we're... The 117 and the 43 are around.
And the green streak is broken. 6th caution of the night. An incident between Tyler Helm and Terry Henry brings out the 6th safety car of the evening. A small bit of contact between those 2 drivers. Not exactly an airplane crash like we might have saw in those first handful of cautions, but definitely unfortunate. See Terry Henry and Tyler Helm. I don't think either of them hit the wall, but just unfortunately converged on each other just coming out of turn number 4. And that will have us working our 6th caution of the evening. This will likely be a quickie caution, as neither Helm nor Henry are severely damaged and will likely be able to take their positions with relative ease. As
And do they have to make a pit stop? The 17 car just gave up his track position to come down pit road.
Oh, I think they can make it on fuel. They could probably definitely make it on fuel. These Legends cars do not use a lot of petrol. Then again, they don't have very big fuel tanks, so I don't know. I thought they could do. I figured on a short track like this they could do more than 100 laps, but
He's changing front tires. They just jacked up the front. They're gonna jack up the rears too.
That's very
They are. And are
Um,
we coming to green? Did we go one to go there? not
no,
yet.
we're not one to, we're not one to green it just for the minute, but definitely interesting. In this sort of race, I honestly would just tell my pit crew to go home. I want track position more than anything, especially when you start to see cautions in quick succession. We have maybe a 50-lap green one. Maybe pitting might be the way with, that would have worn some rubber off your tyres, but we've not had much green flag running at all. So I highly doubt the 17 is going to gain much from that. But alas, PJ Moon again has control of the field. Will be Finn Buckley on his outside. P1 and 2 in qualifying, P1 and 2 on the racetrack. There'll be one more that under caution, you would imagine. Yep, the lights are now off on the iRacing.com page. I see Tegan Roseberry just working around the safety car, getting a lap back. So we'll see. We know that Moon and Buckley and Coolbrith and those guys, they're all officially kind of the class of the field in terms of race pace, and TJ's really done well to keep the field behind him under those green flag runs, and he's going to have to get a good restart to hopefully start all that again, and he's done well to beat Finn Buckley to turn at number 1. Finn Buckley as well, though, manages to get clear of Parker Lindemann before turn 2, so he's not susceptible to any inside line attacks, and already starting to fan out just a little bit. Got those top 4, you see, that is Braden Ludiker going to the inside of making Gubig. Oh, there is contact! Coolbrith and Lindemann making contact. Why is upside down there?
Yeah, no caution. 22 is upside down.
Coolbrith has towed his car, but he was upside down. Get a replay of that. Coming into turns number 1 and 2. You see, he just gets into the back of Parker Lindemann. They get blocked up into the wall and just pinged onto his side. That's a bizarre accident and immediately tows. So we remain under green flag conditions at Lanier after, I think, probably our 4th flip.
43's around again.
The caution is out. Tyler Helm with a spin. There's a self-spin.
And mark it down, William. Tires make a difference. That 17 was flying around people on the outside. I mean,
yeah,
he is driven all the way up to 5th after restarting at the back of this pad. So.
I didn't even see him. That is seen. He's done very well. If I was the field, I'd be taking notes of that. Jared Davis puts on a fresh set of rubber with, he takes off those tires that didn't really seem like they had that much mileage on them under green flag conditions, and yet he was flying. As you said, Chris, up to P5, so I'm definitely going to be watching the 17 on the subsequent restarts, see if he can start to challenge the likes of TJ Moon, Finn Buckley and company for those higher positions. But already, despite all the cautions we've had, this is now our 7th of the evening, the laps are ticking off quickly. So if you're someone like TJ come in, I didn't see that. TJ Moon on pit road, that's a big one. So we'll see if he takes tyres. But Chris, if you're
someone... the 17 coming. Oh, we're wrecking under yellow. We've got the 61 and the one Terry Henry out here. They have wrecked under caution.
Oh no. Oh. Yeah, I've just seen that replay on my own simulator. Tegan Rosenberry just comes down into Terry Henry. That's bizarre. You'll see it on replay here.
Well, if I didn't know any better, I'd say he was mad about something.
I heard over the radio, she apparently just zoned out under the caution, which, I mean, I would get it. I would also be quite bored under these many cautions, to be absolutely fair, but that is definitely quite a bizarre incident. She's definitely probably woke up now, though. But for the first time, it will be Finn Buckley leading on a restart and not TJ Moon. Finn Buckley has control of the field, the number 2 there on his outside. It's Mason Gubic there, up to a race high P2 there. Braden Ludiker's not going to let him have it easy. Here comes Jared Davis on the fresh tyres. 3 wide to the inside goes the 17 looking for P2, and Finn Buckley's going to be looking in his rear view mirror at a very fast number 17 machine. You'd have to imagine Jared Davis will be challenging for the lead before long. Luda can try and stank it around the outside, but to no avail for the 23. If I'm Finn Buckley, I'm really going to start to be worried about Jared Davis. He is looking mighty quick on those fresh tyres. TJ Moon, pardon me, as well, near the back of the pack around P12. Will be starting to make his way through the back momentarily. See there, Tyler Hellman, the 43, is on his outside. Into turn 3 he goes, and he's going to slide through him like a hot knife through butter. No resistance from the 43. TJ Moon is up a spot and into the top 10 already on this restart. So Chris Wright, if you're someone like Finn Buckley, Mason Gubic, Braden Ludica, up near the front but still on the tyres that you started the race on, if we see another yellow flag, are you taking to pit road?
Well, I think the 17s kind of want to force their hand. I think TJ got in maybe when he should have. These other guys, it might be too late. TJ is being very patient back here. He is not, like, we saw the 17 just as he takes the lead here. We saw the 17 just slice right through these guys. And TJ's being way more methodical, way more patient around these guys. And so I think he's banking on him making a caution here. Maybe he doesn't have to make all these passes. But if we run too many more green laps here, if we get up towards lap 65, 70, I don't know if you can afford to pit.
TJ Moon definitely exhibiting some brilliant pace just relative to the likes of Zach Ball and Parker Lindemann. Ahead of them, the pace differential in the favour of TJ Moon by a good few tenths of a second. So I think TJ definitely is right to be a bit patient. He is significantly faster than the cars in and around him. I think he just needs to be methodical, as you say, and pick them off when the opportunities come and not try and force their hand, albeit to Davis's credit. Not been brash at all with the moves he's made, but he definitely sliced through the field a lot quicker earlier than TJ Moon is doing currently, and as you see, Finn Buckley already starting to lose touch with him. The pace differential again about a tenth of a second to the good for Jared Davis. The gap nearing a second already. So I would say the 17 definitely, alongside the 21 of TJ Moon, definitely one of the fastest cars on the racetrack.
Yeah, and this is where TJ's got to be really careful. He's in a bunch of traffic. These guys just made a little bit of contact a couple corners back. You can see he's got the pace, he's got the fresher tires. Just trying not to make contact, trying not to get hit, trying to be smart about where you put your car. Here we go, the 7's going to drive back underneath him.
It's the 7 there of Parker Lindemann there trying to retake P7, but it won't be to much avail for car number 7. And up into P6 goes TJ Moon next on his hit list. Jonathan Sellers in the 83. And TJ Moon slides right past him with no resistance up into the top 5 now for TJ Moon. And he's got a bit of clean air now before Braden Ludica. I think this is where the 21's going to come alive.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're getting ready to see some pace out of TJ here. I think we're going to see him, you know, he's gotten through a lot of this traffic. He's feeling pretty good about keeping his car in one piece.
Definitely looking confident and very, very smooth and methodical. You see he's able to get right up to that wall, but isn't exactly kicking the back end out, also not tracking up too quickly, not letting the car get tight. He looks very, very smooth, arcing the corners nicely. You see already right up to the back bumper of Braden Ludica there. That is your fight on the racetrack for P4 as they barrel into the turn 3. It's lap 61 of 100, just 40 to go, and those laps will tick off quickly with laps still
43 backwards there going into pit road. What was that?
I didn't catch that. Tyler Helm backwards into pit road. He most certainly was. Wow, it was going the complete wrong way. I'm surprised he didn't get auto DQ'd by the sim, but you go see it on your feed. But alas, he evades the wrath of the iRacing gods and makes his way to pit road, and Moon is going the right way up the field. He's passed Braden Ludica and up into P4 next on his hit list. Finn Buckley, his front row companion from qualifying and for most of the preliminary portions of this race, now is in the windshield of the number 21 with 16. A good couple tenths of a second slower on those older tyres than TJ Moon. But I'm just looking at Jared Davis versus TJ Moon now. They both run in relatively clean air. Moon has got the pace advantage by about a tenth of a second, so I think once TJ is able to pass Finn Buckley and Aidan Wickfield, I think we could really start to see a battle for the lead heat up before long. Yeah,
and at this point you have to wonder if a caution comes out. The Does everybody come back to pit road? We've seen how much tires mean, and you see TJ maybe, getting back up here to the top 3. He's probably going to have to consider coming if the guys in front of him come. So if we get another caution, that could really make things interesting here on who does what. And the 43s are around down here, and we are getting that caution.
There we go. As if on cue from Chris Wright, the 8th caution of the evening does display itself. The 43th Tyler Helm involved in another incident. Too hot into turn 1, and around goes the 43.
I don't have an official checklist over here, but I believe that's, 4 tonight for the 43?
Yeah, it's not looking good for old Tyler, as I think he's officially done for the day, with just under a third of the running.
And here we go. The 420 stays out of Aiden. 17's back on pit road. TJ stays out. Parker's out. Jonathan's out. Zach's out. Finn, everybody else is on pit road here on the lead lap.
Interesting. That's a big split in strategy. They did quite a few miles. This track's only 0.375 miles, but they did a lot of laps on those tyres. So I think I would have pit if I was up near the front, but alas, there's a reason they're driving and we're commentating, so we'll take their word for it. Aiden Wigfield now leads the field under yellow with 29 laps to go at the line, and once everyone catches back up, we'll probably go green about 27-28 to go, and that's going to create a very interesting scenario where about you take that lead lap pack, you almost split it in half in terms of who stayed out, who came in for fresh tyres, and that's going to create a massive pace difference, and it could really create some problems on the restarts for sure. So definitely keep your eyes peeled and don't tune out of Maconi Entertainment for these last 25 or so laps here at Lanier, as Aiden Wigfield currently leads the field under the safety car. It is officially 1 lap to green as the lights now come off on the iRacing.com. Safety car will restart on lap 74 with 27 laps to go here at Lanier National Speedway in virtual Brazelton, Georgia, a city famous for multiple racetracks, including of course Road Atlanta, which has hosted a good few races, both real and virtual, in its past. We're here at Lanier, just a quarter of the running to go. Aiden Wigfield has control of the field, and he steps on it. The 420 leads the field to the green. TJ Moon on the outside into turn 1 they go. Wigfield's done a good job there of keeping TJ Moon at bay, but Moon with the switch back into the corner. He's going to get to the inside of the 420. The 420 has to give him room. Parker Lindemann waiting in the wings, seeing if these guys come in. Jared Davis spins on the front straight. Will that bring out a caution? He's right towards the bottom of the track. It does bring out a caution. The 9th of the evening. Jared Davis noses it into the inside wall. The 17, you see here on the replay, just steps on his own tail coming out of turn 4. And that's pretty hefty damage to the front end of that 17 machine. And that could all but bury his chances of victory tonight.
I feel like he was sitting in the catbird seat there. I feel like he was the guy on fresh tires, the right pit call. He was the lead on that strategy, and man, you hate to see that, because now that's going to open the door back up for these guys that stayed out. That's going to, the more laps they run under caution.
Yeah, it most certainly will. So, and remember, obviously, these guys, the main, I guess, problem of obviously doing so many laps is that tyres get hot. Normally, people get warm. So, obviously, more laps under caution, these guys are cooling off their tyres and getting some of that pace back. So that just shrinks that difference down and that advantage down for those guys on those newer, fresh sets of tyres. Down just a little bit. But overtaking at those crucial moments might just become a little bit more difficult. But alas, 22 laps to go at Lanier when we come to the green flag. Aiden Wigfield will again lead the field to the green flag for the second time tonight. Pole sitter TJ Moon is on his outside, ready to try and catch him napping. Aiden Wigfield steps on it. TJ Moon right with him. It's a decent start for the 21. He'll have to try and pull in unless he can pull a move on the outside. You see there, pulls in to the inside. Now goes TJ Moon. We're fighting for the race lead. Wigfield tries to cut him off, tries to slam the door. To the apron goes the 21, trying to make that move work. He's there. He's to the inside, but Wigfield with the run off the corner makes it stick. He stays in the lead with just 22 laps to go. TJ Moon, though, applying the pressure. Here comes Finn Buckley. He's on pressure tyres. Look for him to try and carve his way through the field as we're now coming to 20 laps to go. It's lap 81 of 100. Time is taken for these drivers to try and make that winning move. You see Sellers there on the inside of Ludica, but now we're coming to 19 laps to go. TJ Moon has to make that move as quickly as he can because Finn Buckley is coming with a vengeance. He's on fresher tyres.
Yeah, and right now, that 420 machine out front, he's doing a great job of overslow in the middle of the corner and making sure that TJ does not get the run he needs to build. TJ laid back, though, that time. He's going to get a good run. This is going to be a good opportunity. And we're wrecking behind.
Ludica with a self-spin on the front straight, and that's going to bring out a caution. That's going to buy Aiden Wigfield some more time as it looks all the while like TJ Moon is about to launch a bonsai move into turn 3. You see the replay, and just again very similar to the Jared Davis incident, just steps on his own tail, getting on the power coming out of turn 4.
Big story here, TJ Moon was removed from the server.
Oh, what happened?
I have no, I had to be something that was said. Had to be.
Yeah, I did not catch. I have iRacing on in the background, but I've lowered it to negative 25 decibels such that it's not over, you know, I'm not talking into a speech jammer of sorts. I didn't hear anything. But that is... Ow. That must have been something audio communication related, because I look back at the replay. TJ hasn't hit anyone under caution, hasn't done anything on track.
Well, that changes everything.
Ah, okay. Thanks, Jeff, from the booth. I guess he's listening in. So, TJ Moon removed from the server for threatening to wreck someone. That would explain why administration somewhat had their hand forced in regards to that. So that's a heavy hitter. I suppose potentially in the literal sense as well. Out of the race, Aiden Wigfield still leads. Finn Buckley, though, will definitely be his nearest challenger. He did pit earlier on a couple cautions ago, as previously mentioned. So Aiden Wigfield, while he hasn't got TJ Moon on his back bumper anymore, he definitely... Buckley, Lindemann, and company behind him, Zach Paul, Mason Gubic, that make up the rest of the top 5. They are no slouches. They will be hounding Wigfield all the way to the bitter end here. And he's definitely got work to do to try and keep the chasing pack behind him.
Yeah, what are you willing to do here? We're going to be, you know, what, 13 to go here, 12 to go? Are you willing, if you're Parker, restarting in 3rd, to drive down in there and try to clean both of them up the track there? Or?
If it's your only opportunity, you're at a short track with bumpy cars. I mean, it's traditional American stock car racing. You want to move.
We got waiver rounds flying by these guys on the restart.
That's messy, but they got it to work because we have a very small pocket of cars actually making up the lead pack. So it's only about half a dozen of them. There, 1, 2. There's about 8 of them. There's Gubic there, big block. It's a turn 3, and he's gonna get punished for it. I think that was Cool Breath that sent him flying up the track. He saved it. You block, you pay, says Joshua Fireball Cool Breath as Gubic goes flying up the track there. But we stay green with just 11 to go. Aiden Wigfield there, absorbing some massive pressure from Finn Buckley. He's trying to overslow the corner and get the momentum out. You see, I think Aiden Wigfield's going to have to try and deploy some Ryan Newman or some Alonso defending. As here comes Finn Buckley to the inside into turn number 3. Potentially a lead change on the cars with just 9 laps to go. Finn Buckley to the lead here at Lanier. Late on in the running, Aiden Wigfield's valiant defence is done as Coolbreath looks to follow him through. He is into 2nd place. Wigfield tries to respond, but to no avail. New leader, the 16 to Finn Buckley, just 8 laps to go.
Yeah, that's all tires. You can see this 420 machine just cannot hold the bottom. He is paying the price for not getting tires this race, and now it's going to be even more magnified now that he's back in traffic, and you see that car just, he has no exit pace right now. Those front tires just are not working for him.
He tried and he tried. You have to give credit to him for going for that gamble. Really had nothing to lose in that 420 machine, but he has lost the lead. Still runs P3 though, Braden Ludica putting on the pressure, but now we're riding on board. Joshua Fireball Coolbreath. We've seen him have good runs in Fast Fridays before, yet to secure a victory. He's just 2 tenths off a potential victory tonight. 5 laps to go. Just a mile and a half from Braselton, Georgia remains 5 laps for Joshua Fireball Coolbrith to make the move on Finn Buckley. He's getting the exit speed that he needs. He just needs to get that a little bit closer, potentially use the bumper. We're coming to 4 laps to go. Can Coolbrith get it?
I think he can if he wanted to get a little dirty. He might not have to get dirty. He's running a pretty solid line here. And they got traffic out in front of him. Like, look at this traffic. We got 3 cars right out in front of him.
And that's Jeff Maconi, the first car actually immediately in front of Finn Buckley 03. Yeah, it's Jeff Maconi. And that might slow Finn Buckley up just a little bit. Maconi way to the high side, getting out of their way. That is courteous. Good on you, Jeff. I know you're listening to me. I'm giving you a clap for that one. There's 2 laps to go now from Lanier. Finn Buckley still leads. Joshua Fireball Coolbrith there in 2nd place. But in all the pressure on the number 16 machine as they come up on Tegan Rosenberry in 3 and 4. Hopefully not too much of a distraction. White flag though. This race will end under green flag conditions. You're right on board with the left front of Finn Buckley. What will Coolbrith do to try and win this race? Into turn 3 we go for the final time. He can't quite get to the bumper out of turn 4. Finn Buckley in the 16 is going to win at Lanier. A brilliant drive from Finn Buckley. Coolbrith comes up just short, a 10th and a half back. Braden Ludica completes the podium with Aidan Wigfield. Tried the gamble, didn't work. It's P4 for the 420. Mason Gubick rounds out the P5. He led 19 laps. He started on the front row, goes one better in the race, and it's victory lane destiny for Finn Buckley at Lanier.
And we talked about that in the pre-race, how it was going to be a race of survival. He survived the chaos, and kudos to Fireball there in 2nd place to not drive down into 3 and just clean the guy out. Chose to be smart there and be that guy, and so kudos to him for being clean and bringing everybody back to the checkered flag, because he definitely was close enough. If he wanted to send it down in there into 3 and make something happen, he could have.
Definitely had the opportunity to send Finn Buckley over into a neighbouring state, but decided against it. And kudos to him, and kudos to Finn Buckley for an awesome drive, executed to perfection, strategy-wise and racecraft-wise. That was a calculated performance from the driver of the 16, and he is rewarded with his first Fast Fridays triumph here at Lanier Motor Speedway. A tricky affair with about 10 cautions, and definitely a deserving winner in the form of the 16 of Finn Buckley. We now wait for drivers to join the waiting room for some post-race interviews. I see Finn Buckley in there now. Wait to see if Mr. Coolbrith and Mr. Ludica tag along.
And one thing to mention here too, I know we're getting ready to interview the top 3, but that 4th place guy, kudos to Aiden hanging on those old tires, never pitted and got tires, and hanging on for 4th. And I mean, nobody was fighting harder those last 10 or 15 laps than him. I don't think that front tire had much left in it.
It was an awesome performance there from Aiden to hang on to P4 despite that tire disadvantage. But now here are your full official race results from Fast Fridays at Lanier Speedway. Finn Buckley, your victor by 10th and a half over Joshua Fireball Coolbrith in the 22. The 23 of Braden Ludica rounds out the podium. Aidan Wigfield tried the strategy call, didn't quite work. The 420 finishes 4th. Mason Gubick in P5. Parker Lindemann in P6. Zach Ball finishes 7th. And Jared Davis, the last driver on the lead lap, 11.1 seconds off the leader. At the checkered flag, Jonathan Sellers and Jeffrey Maconi round out the top 10. Both of those drivers finished 1 lap down. Looking back towards P number 11, that is where we find Terry Henry in the 117. He finished 3 laps down. Tegan Roseberry, in P12 finished 5 laps down. And then your non-finishers, P13 TJ Moon, Tyler Helm, Henry Cowser, Jonathan Weaver, Kenneth Etter, Carl Sargison, Brian Huntley Jr., Logan Blau, as well as Jeff Thins, Brandon Meese, Eric Goodell, Grayson Underwood, and Mike Stockton were your 25 drivers for tonight. But now, we have 2 drivers in the waiting room. I don't think Braden Ludica is in the server. He's not in the waiting room. So, we will have Chris Wright joined by Joshua Fireball Coolbrith, 2nd place finisher.
Yeah, I'm standing here with Fireball. Man, you did a great job tonight. Survived most of this race here. Started 11th, which was about the middle of the chaos back there. So talk to us about how you managed to survive those first 25 laps, and kudos to you for just sailing down in there on the last lap and taking Finn out, and talk to us about that finish and what more you needed to make that pass for the win there.
So the first 25 laps, I was just like taking it easy. I knew they were gonna wreck because it's Legends and it happens all the time. But we were like all messed up. I ran somebody over and it just I didn't mean to and it just. But after that, I was like 4 laps down and I had to somehow make a comeback off that. And I almost got unlucky because I almost could not pit. That one guy that self spun, I praise him for life, dude. I praise him. But me and Finn, we are buddies. I gave him that win. I was trying to pass him. He don't ever like really win anything on the oval. He's a really good road course racer though. So yeah, we just executed great. Good job to Mason Gubick and TJ Moon. I know TJ Moon got kicked, but he did really good also. Those were all my buddies. We were all just racing together, see how we do in this race. But yeah, I just like to thank my parents, my mom, all of them, my sponsors, Master Exterminators, Huff Oil Group, all of them good sponsors. Yeah, if you want to go check me out, I have my own Instagram page, Joshua Fireball Colbreth, and TikTok and Facebook. I have my own website. So yeah, that's pretty much all that happened. So go check me out.
All right, Fireball, thanks for giving us your time. Congrats on the run. We look forward to seeing you again next week here on Fast Friday.
Yep. Thank you. Yeah.
So that was second place finisher Joshua Fireball Colbreth, and now I am joined in the broadcast booth by race winner, the number 16, Finn Buckley. I think I'm right in saying this is your first Friday's victory. How does that feel?
I mean, it feels pretty good. I mean, it's my first time running this series, and first time I can remember running this car track combo. So
Definitely not an easy night, especially in the beginning. There definitely seemed like a race of attrition of sorts. I think we ended with 10 cautions on the night. What do you think was the most important element, I suppose, to get you that victory tonight? Was it strategy? Was it pure survival? Or do you think you just had the pace over everyone else?
honestly, probably survival and just not, making a mistake and wrecking yourself or getting too far back and, getting up in other people's stuff. Try not to wreck.
Definitely an important part of victory. Obviously, in order to finish first you have to finish. But anyone you want to thank, partners or sponsors you want to shout out for getting that number 16 into victory lane for the first ever time in Fast Fridays?
Honestly, not for iRacing's sake, but I mean, I'm gonna be running these cars real life next year, and I'll have some things come out about that. So, not much I can say yet.
Well, that is awesome to hear. Hopefully, we'll be seeing you with similar successes out in the real world in these Legends cars. But thank you so much for your time, Finn, and congratulations on your victory.
Thank you.
So that was race winner Finn Buckley, the driver of the number 16. But now, Chris, obviously, with those post-race interviews done and dusted, with the checkered flag having fallen, what are your final thoughts on today's running overall?
Well, I mean, it was just like we talked about, in the pre-race. We had a lot of wrecks early, some big wrecks early, and then those last 70, 75 laps, the cautions were spread out. We saw some great racing, some great battles, great gamesmanship and sportsmanship out there, and tires ended up meaning something. And I did not expect to see tires make a difference tonight, but those ended up being the difference at the end of the race. So it was a great time out here tonight at Lanier. I can't wait to watch next week's Fast Friday here with you, William and David. And thanks you guys for having me out tonight.
Absolutely, it's going to be an awesome night. I believe the next week is a money race. I think it's the Xfinity Series cars at Talladega Superspeedway, if I remember rightly. So that one is going to be a barn burner. No matter what, you better tune in for that one next Friday. Daytona, not Talladega, Daytona. Same thing, Superspeedway. It's going to be mental. So be sure to tune in for that Friday, the 9th of August next week. We'll be given one lucky driver. Well, not lucky, but you do have to be lucky to win at Daytona. Regardless, the winner of that race gets their choice of $250 or a 3-foot trophy, or a meter if you're European, such like myself. But with that, thank you so very much for watching, everyone. We thank tonight's race sponsors, Maconi Setup Shop and Maconi Competitor Zone. Calling the action tonight was myself, William White, alongside Chris Wright in the booth, David Kreutz up in the production booth, and Shay Monday providing updates on all our social media channels, which you can follow. along with us as well. Thank you to all our viewers for watching tonight's racing action, and we hope you'll stay tuned to all of our social media pages for the next rendition of Fast Fridays. And don't forget to tune in each and every week for our broadcast of the top split of the Maconi Setup Shop C-Fix Series, as well as round 2 of the eNASCAR Road to Pro qualifying series. With that being said, this has been a production of Maconi Entertainment. We will see you at the checkered flag. Thank you and good night.